Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother Teja Dash. Guys, it's the playoff edition now, round one. So
yes.
Finally, we got meaningful playoff basketball.
We're here. We are here.
Such a good time of the year. Such a great time of the year. We got that, and I was looking at this upcoming schedule. So Thursday, we have a game. It's also the same night as the NFL draft, so it's going to be multiple screens going to the same time. Eric, I mean, I just love it.
We have a game Thursday.
We have a game Thursday, 7:30.
Is that game 2 or game 1? Game 2 or 3?
I think it's 3. Yeah, Monday's game 2.
It was a home game.
Yeah. So that's gonna be good stuff. I'm surprised the NBA tried to not have anything overlap with round 1 of the NFL draft. So I'm kind of surprised by that. But I mean, what are you gonna do?
I mean, you can't. We already give up enough for the NFL. We already changed our schedule enough. I mean, you got playoffs now.
Yeah.
So
True.
I hadn't even looked at our schedule. I mean, I just know we play Saturday. I hadn't looked past Saturday at all, to be honest with you. So
Saturday, Monday, Thursday, Sunday are the first 4 games.
So that's good. I like having the break in between home and away.
Yeah.
2 and 3. So you don't have to sit in the hotel there or decide whether you want to go back because it's a long break. So that helps.
Especially the way our team's built and what we're dealing with this year with just trying to get guys healthy and, conditioned right.
So that's what I'm saying. So you play Saturday, Monday, and then you come home Monday night. So now you have a full week at home.
Yep.
You won't find that going forward that many days in between that you'll be home. It'll probably be broken up a little bit, or the games will be every other day or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, it's an exciting time, and now we don't have to worry about playing in tonight's game. For a second there on during that game against the Heat, I thought we were gonna have to play tonight.
Not for a second.
For a good while there. So kind of talking about that game, so kind of going a little rewind here just to kind of like a reaction to what we saw the other night. Obviously, tough playing game against the Heat. It wasn't for a second; it was for the whole first half. I thought it was going to be we're going to be playing tonight against the winner of that Hawks and Bulls game, but we pulled it out. Thankfully, Nicholas Batum stepped up. That wasn't the third guy that we were talking about in our show. Who's going to be the third guy to step up? And Batum was the guy that was one of the guys we did not say. But now we face the hard-nosed Knicks. How much do you think playing in the Heat in that first game was kind of prepared us to go against the hard, gritty, hard-nosed New York Knicks in the round 1?
I'm not sure if playing the Heat is prepare us for the Knicks. I think it prepared us for playoff basketball, and the stakes that comes with that. Because it was a win or move on, lose, and you only have one more chance to lose. So it was just preparing you for basketball. I think the Knicks is going to be different because they're not going to play very much zone like Miami did. They'll play a lot of man-to-man. They'll grind it out. So from that standpoint, it's probably similar in size for the most part. But it's still just more than anything, it just gives you that playoff feel.
Yeah.
I think definitely they're both physical teams. They're both well-coached teams. They're both disciplined teams. They're number 5th and 9th in defensive efficiency, and they're both dead last in pacing on offense. So in that regard, as far as they just play generally a slower game, I think it helped us a little bit. I mean, they're not the same exact team, and they don't have the same exact makeup, but they have similar identities, right? They slow it down on offense. They try to play physical brand of basketball on defense.
Yeah, I just think from a standpoint of, when you look at their styles and both focus on defense, yeah, they're similar. But I just think that New York has a guard that's going to be more that's trying to give you 30 points. They don't really have that as far as guy driving that can get to the line.
Yeah,
they have guys that can stretch. They have 3-point shooters that can stretch the court. They have lockdown defenders, which Miami does have. But so I think that's what I'm saying. From a personnel standpoint, I don't think it's similar at all. I just think their size is very similar. Except very similar at the positions.
Yeah,
but they don't really have a center that's going to try to score 20 points. So
New York, you mean?
New York doesn't.
Yeah.
But Miami has an undersized center that tries to score. Just got in foul trouble. But so I just think they're not as similar as people may assume outside of like what you said, which is the defense, the pace. But I think in the playoffs, the defense, the pace is going to change for a lot of people.
I also think Miami, I think they're a little more possibly flexible in the way they play. Spo can kind of change it up if it's not working and just try to see what works, especially against a team like us. Whereas I think New York didn't play that much zone this year. So when push comes to shove, Spo will throw the kitchen sink at you. But, maybe Tibbs just relies more on his just disciplined philosophies.
Yeah, I mean, he just rather if he can make an adjustment, he'll make an adjustment in his man-to-man.
Yeah.
Not trap a guy, send him trap, force him baseline. You make an adjustment in your man-to-man.
Yeah. When to double. Yeah.
Yes.
We're to double. Yeah.
This is one thing, talking about that game the other night, one thing that kind of stood out to a lot of people is the fact that, Nick Nurse isn't beholden to, keeping the same certain guys out on the court at certain times. Where if you're the guy who closed the games during the regular season, I mean, there's probably not a chance there may be a chance you're not going to do that since we have so many guys. And one thing that stood out to that game, and that game was Nick Nurse not having Tobias to close the game out on the court in the fourth quarter. Is that something that kind of gives us an advantage, Eric, that we have a coach who's not like beholden to certain lineups at certain times that he can kind of toggle with it?
I mean, I think there are certain guys on the team that, for the most part, you assume will be out on the court, and there's probably 1 or 2 guys that will be out there on the court. Then you probably have 3 through 5 that's most likely they'll be out there. Tobias is probably one of those most likely guys. And I guess the way the game was going, you can make that play, especially the way Batum was shooting the ball. And then Batum's size. So sometimes it really matters about who you're playing too, because sometimes if Tobias is our power forward and so really small, if we're playing, Milwaukee, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful with that. We're playing Boston. So it kind of depends on it. You were able to do that because of who we were playing, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the personnel will come into play also in his decision making. So I don't think it was necessarily just a Tobias thing. I think it was the way other guys were playing and the personnel as far as who you're defending.
Yeah, I do like that he can remain flexible though, if we need it.
Yeah, I mean, I think most coaches are flexible, more flexible than we give them credit for. It's just that when we just seem to only talk about it when it doesn't work out. But when it do work out, we just act like it didn't exist or it didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's Nick Nurse. It works out, so we give him credit. Doc, we just talk about all the times it didn't work out instead of all the times that it did.
Yeah,
It's true. It's a good point.
you made it a Doc versus Nick Nurse thing. I didn't.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't have to say Doc versus Nick. It's said enough. I'm just saying, like, if Doc Rivers made that right there, it wouldn't have been discussed unless we lost.
And it didn't work out in our favor. Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like
I feel like that's a coach thing in general, though. They kind of get more press when it doesn't work out.
To be honest with you, I didn't even like during the flow of the game. Like I didn't even notice. Like, oh, Tobias isn't in. It was just let's try to win the game.
Yeah, same here. Actually, I really didn't. Yeah, it didn't really hit me until I was like, you know what? I haven't seen Tobias in a while.
Yeah, I didn't even really notice it till like the end when I seen him in the timeout and he wasn't out there. That's when I noticed it.
I gotta say though, isn't that a bad thing though?
Bad thing for who?
Like if you don't know a guy's there or not, like if we know if Embiid wasn't there, we know if Maxey wasn't there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But I don't. That's why I'm saying I don't because I consider him as the guy that's
fringe,
most likely be in.
Yeah.
Now, if it was Joel and Maxey, I would be like, dude, why aren't you putting them back in the game?
Yeah. They'd be showing them on the sidelines every 5 seconds.
Them are the only two guys I would say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if I would say put Tobias back in the game if whomever is replacing him
not playing.
I don't think they're getting the job done.
Yeah.
But if they're getting the job done, I'm not going to say, hey, take him out because Tobias is a starter, put him back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did with the end of the game lineup was Lowry, Maxey, Batum, Oubre, and Embiid.
Yep, I believe so.
It's not bad five there. A lot of offense and defense.
Yeah, I mean he really trusts Kyle. So I mean,
yeah,
if Kyle wasn't there, most likely that would have been Tobias or somebody else. But Kyle's sort of the wild card because of his trust. Yeah. So he's going to play him even probably times when we think he shouldn't.
Yeah. Kyle played his ass off in that game too, man.
I mean, he gives us something. He's gonna play hard. I'm just saying from that standpoint, for most guys that are new that just came there, you kind of wouldn't play him that much. But him having a relationship with him, the trust factor is there.
Yeah,
it's just interesting to me. Like, what would we be doing if Melton was playing? Like, I don't know. Yeah, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy Melton, or just like the way it's okay. Because right now it's great. He's easily to come off the bench the way he is.
Healthy.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
He was getting shots up today, so there's promising that he may come back.
He's playing. To me, he's playing Kyle like way more than like Buddy Hield. That's shocking to me.
Yeah.
Like it's not shocking that he plays more, but it's shocking that it's not close.
Yeah.
When we were resting Kyle Hill down the stretch, I was like, man, he's going to get major minutes in the playoffs. That's when I was like, dude, he's going to play like crazy now. Yeah. They're going to like unleash him in the playoffs. It was almost like him just getting conditioned for the playoffs toward the end of the season.
Ramping up.
Yeah, seriously though. I mean, like that's what it told me. And I knew he was going to play a ton in that Miami game just because the experience.
You can do that in one game though.
Yes.
Interesting going forward against the Knicks. Against the Knicks is going to be interesting because
Brunson.
Yeah, it's a load. Like he has a lot of volume, and how are we going to match up? Are we going to put Kyle on them? We going to put Maxey on them? Do y'all remember who when we played him those 2 games in New York? Who defended him primarily?
I believe that was his first game he actually played for us was the game he got hit in the face. That was his first game against the Knicks.
No, I'm saying when we played him when we played those back-to-back games when we scored 70 points. Who guarded Brunson?
I don't
remember anymore. I remember, I think it was like a collective effort, but
who started on them rather, not who guarded. Who started on them?
I believe the game 2 against the Knicks that we played this year, that was Lowry's first game. He played Brunson that game. The next 2 games, I don't know if he guarded him after that.
Yeah, I can't find it. I don't remember anymore.
Got it.
But who started? Maxey, the first one, or the one I'm looking at, the 110-96. Yeah, we started Buddy and Maxey in that game. So I'm guessing between those two. They're also, it's fine. They're not afraid to put Batum out there on an island with some of those guards either, man. Like they did with Hero. And they throw him out there. They put him on an island with some guys. So you might see Batum on him a little bit too, just because of his length. Yeah, they're probably just going to try different things and see what sticks the best. But yeah, I'd expect to see Kyle on him a little bit, Batum switching on him a little bit. The other 2 games, look at those real fast. The low 70s game, that was a weird little roster we had that day. That was Payne and Lowry started that backcourt.
Wow.
So
yeah, I remember Maxey didn't play that game.
Yeah. So Payne was on him probably a fair amount.
Yeah, Campbell.
And then Lowry and Maxey, the next one, where they just blew us out the next game. How did he do? They did pretty. I'll tell you what, the Payne Lowry duo did pretty good on Brunson. Brunson was 6 for 22 that game.
I mean, it was only 70 points each team.
Yeah, you're right. You couldn't have a great game. 19's actually pretty good for 73, right?
Yeah.
But 6 for 22, and that's pretty rough. But no one could hit anything that game. That game was dreadful. So
we'll get into that a little bit more as we talk about the Knicks. But do you think we'll see a game like that in this series?
I wouldn't be surprised you get a game like that. I would expect the games to be in the 90s. If they hit 100, maybe one team, or if both teams is lower hundreds. I expect that type of grinded. If you don't have a clean, fast break, slow it up. Take time, change the ball from side to side, try to attack the paint, try to get guys in foul trouble, try to get to the line.
Did you
limit possessions? I believe that they feel the fewer possessions, the better for them.
Did you see that stat that I think Windhorst talked about recently, that Brunson dribbled more than the next most dribbled player by like hundreds of dribbles?
I could believe that.
Interesting, man. I think he said I think he might have said 300 to 500. So he dribbled like a lot more than the next player. It's pretty crazy.
Well, I mean, it's the positionless basketball that they have now. A lot of teams let anybody bring the ball down the court. The Knicks don't. So you'll have. That being said, I still think Luka dominates the ball more, even though he doesn't take as many dribbles.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that a lot of people who were picking the Sixers to beat the Knicks before that Heat game, now a lot of people are flopping to the other end of it, because they said seeing the way Embiid looked against the Heat the other night has kind of put a pause on the Sixers' love against the Knicks. But he did come alive in the fourth quarter. He had a really good fourth quarter. But my question is, do you think, looking at the way he played on against the Heat, is that more of an injury thing, Eric, or is that still a conditioning issue? Going from being off for two months, then playing 8 games, then going to a playoff atmosphere game like that. I mean, does that more? Would you say it's kind of a combo of the two, or you say it's more injury than conditioning from what you saw at the game against the Heat?
Some guys I've spoken to, even at the barbershop, when I took my boys to get haircuts, guys were talking about it and they were asking about it, and out of everybody's mouth is, man, I like Philly to beat Knicks, but only if Joel's healthy. So that's the word. I mean, and one guy in particular was just what you said. He didn't look good at all in that playing game. So you're right. From my experience, from people I've seen, it's, I think y'all gonna win, but I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna play the whole series. But the thing is, I think now I'm confirmed that what we're seeing now is pretty much going to be who he's going to be.
What we're going to see.
So, can we win a series with him like that? Yes, we can. But we have to have everyone else playing well. We have to have some guys are going to have to be above average, like Batum, above average. Maxey, who I thought was below average, that Heat game, he's going to have to be above average, especially if he can kind of neutralize Brunson.
Yeah,
that will really help us.
Yes.
But as far as Joel, I mean, I get it. I understand with people changing their minds on us going forward because of his injury. My thing with the Knicks is the Knicks are still without Randall too. So I still feel even with Joel limited, I mean, he still had what, 23-15 or 23-17?
23-15.
If he's able to give us those numbers while still being efficient, we can definitely win it. So I think it's the efficiency. So because if he's going to play fewer minutes, the more efficient he is, the better. And I think the more efficient he is, the more they're inclined to double him, which opens up more opportunities for other guys. We will have to shoot well from the outside and from the three against the Knicks, because if we don't, they will pack that paint in there. We will have a hard time scoring the whole series. So we have to make shots to loosen up and spread out their defense.
We didn't really play well in the Heat game at all.
No, we didn't play well. I mean, in some ways we
deserved. It was a bad game.
Yeah, in some ways we deserve to lose.
Oh yeah, it was a bad game. They didn't play well either. So like it was just a tale of different halves. So we played. I think we played worse in the first half than they played in the second half.
I had guys tell me if Jimmy didn't get hurt, we lose the game, and I had to think about it.
They should have been winning by like. They should have been killing us at one point.
Yeah, so it's him getting injured. I thought what it did was it limited him attacking. He became more of a jump shooter. So it did, and then Hero didn't shoot well either. So Bam got in foul trouble. Like we did enough to win, but it wasn't a confidence building win.
It was a grinded out, but I mean that I guess in a way it helps us a little bit because I think there are going to be some grinded out games in this series coming up. So that brand of winning,
that's what the playoffs is going to be.
Yeah, get it done. Who cares? I mean, I think that's going to be the kind of mantra of this series coming up. But yeah, we didn't really play well. You're right. Maxey didn't play well at all. We were just cold. Our bench, which is ironic, right? Our bench has always been our Achilles heel. Our bench actually saved us. 14 of 24 from the bench. Obviously 7 of 12.
It's like that, man. That's what playoff basketball is. Like it could be someone else's night each night. You do what you have to do to try to win the game.
And we have a lot of guys, kind of what I was saying in the Heat game. It's so different than years past. We have a lot of guys who can kind of shine like that as like the fourth guy on a given night. Like Lowry could get hot and have like a little 15-point output. Batum obviously proved he can do that. Hield can get hot on a given night and have 15, 17 points.
Yeah.
Kelly can do the 15 to 20. Tobias can do the 15 to 20. I think you're right, though. I think if Maxey can get within 4 points of Brunson every game without shooting 35 times, but I think if he can almost equal Brunson's point output, we should be pretty healthy.
Yes.
I think that should be a pretty healthy series for us. Because, I mean, once you have that, it's like that's their big gun, right?
Yeah.
So aside from that, you have now here comes our next guns with Embiid, Harris, Hield, Lowry, Kelly. So like their next 4 guys have to equal that. I mean, and they've been playing well, but I don't know if over a series they can equal out the guys that I just named in points. I just don't think so. So it really comes down to Maxey trying to just cancel out Brunson's.
Yeah.
Joel, I think it's a combination of both. I think it's injury, and I think it's just conditioning. They were a lot of minutes. He played 38. That's a lot for him at this point. Joel, man, we talked about this in every playoffs. He doesn't hide his emotions. You could tell in his body language how he's feeling.
Yeah.
And every single stoppage, I told Marcus the other day, I was like, man, every single stoppage, head down, just like hands on knees, head down. Like it wasn't, if he scored, he'd do the suck it thing. But like generally throughout the game, it was very mopey. It was very like you'd think we were down by 25 the entire game, right? It was the second half of almost that last Boston game.
Yeah.
Kind of like a demeanor, very, very low demeanor. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, does he bring his body language like that more so to replicate how he's playing or how he feels the game's going as a whole? Because even when we started to come back and we took the lead, I still didn't get that like energetic feel from him. He still feel very, very like low in demeanor. So that I think tells us how he's feeling overall. Hopefully, new life and it was a feel good win, even if we played like crap. It was an exciting way to win. It shouldn't have been that exciting. We were up like 5 with 20 seconds left.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my only concern is just keeping his head up. And I think if he gives us nights like that and good defense, solid rim protection, I think we could definitely win a grinded out series against the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm saying the more efficient he is, because it will be a grinded out series, and I think it'll be a slower pace, fewer possessions. So that's where the efficiency comes in. And he will be double teamed, and he will get different looks based on who's defending him and where he has the basketball. So it's a game of runs, like always. Taking care of the basketball is going to be huge because that first half against the Heat wasn't good at all.
Awful.
We almost gave the game away by our turnovers in the first half. They had a 12-point lead, and it could have been 22 points.
It should have been 22 points.
So, but it all starts with Joel. Injured or not, it does.
Yeah. I think the slow pace helps him too, by the way. That's good for him. Because with the way he's feeling right now, playing like the Pacers, for instance, and then like just sprinting on us every time, that would not be good for him right now.
Yeah.
The one thing that I thought was promising was the fact that he did play 38 minutes, the most he's played since he's come back, and his best quarter was that fourth quarter when he probably should have been his most tired and most exhausted, and that's where he stepped up the most. And it looked like Teja, I don't know, this is my opinion, but it looked like he kind of picked himself back up after he made that when he walked in that top of the key 3, and then he like celebrated after that. I think his like mopiness maybe stemmed from his play not playing so hot up until that quarter moment.
Even his suck it wasn't even that like emphatic. You know what I mean? His suck it was more of like a damn it, I finally hit one. It was like a man. It was like a frustration suck it.
Yeah.
Exhausted, man.
Hey, Paul Reed. I mean, kudos to him, man. 10 minutes, 3 of 3, 6 points, 1 block, 2 rebounds. Perfect in Bleav.
Yeah. Yeah, Buddy Hield really stepped up too. I mean, he was part of that reason when we kind of maintained they came back in that third quarter.
7 and 6, man.
Gotta love it. 6
assists for Buddy. And he contributed when his shot wasn't falling, which is I think more important than anything else.
He stayed aggressive. He found different ways to contribute.
Yeah.
All right,
he did make a big 3 though.
He did.
Yes. Yeah. How about Campaign's 3, man? Came right in, hit a corner 3, left.
During the run. But that's what Cam is. He's not going.
He's ready.
He's not bashful.
Yeah.
He's not bashful.
Yeah, we have such good depth. I mean, just thinking about the depth we have on this team now versus what we had last year. I mean, that's the thing. We're gonna. I'm interested to see what Nurse does as we go along here, because I mean, you limit your rotation as we always talk about, but we have so many guys who can throw at them. We don't even have Melton and we don't have Rocco. So I'm very curious to see how they kind of, cook up things as we move along here.
Matchups. You know who we playing and how you're playing.
All right, so we're going to get to our series predictions and game 1 picks. So we'll start with series predictions here. So who do you guys have, and how many games do you have this bad boy going?
Sixers in 6.
I'm going Sixers in 6 as well. Don't mean to copy you, Eric, but
It's all right. As long as you say Sixers, we're good.
So we'd be ending it at Philly in 6, right?
In Philly, yeah.
Philly, yep. That's a grinded out game, man, that game.
Sixers in 5. Knicks win game 2, and that's it.
Wow.
For them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm curious to see what the betting lines are on that.
Well, this one is, I'm sorry, I forgot. 2-2-1-1-1 or 2-3-2?
Only the finals is 2-3-2.
Okay, that's right. So 2-3-1-1. Okay, 2-2-1-1-1. Okay. So game 5, you think we win the series at New York then?
Yeah.
He's saying we win 3 road games.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
I mean, two road games. I'm sorry, 2 road games in the top 5 games.
Yeah. And a closeout road game.
Yes, and one was a closeout.
Wow. Okay.
We're making a statement.
Okay.
That would make a statement, all right. And the more time we can save too. Let's hope for a long series in the Milwaukee series. If we can get out early, get him some rest, get us a rest, that'd be great for us. So I hope it happens.
Yeah. And right now the line for this is even. It started off when it first opened up. We were a slight favorite, and now it's even money. So it's like minus 110 for both squads. So yeah. All right. So then we're gonna go to game 1 prediction. So Saturday night, 6:00 on ESPN. Sixers will be traveling to New York. I saw earlier they posted on the social media page they're already on the Amtrak to New York. So I also love the fact too that at the travel days, it's really not that much of a travel. It's right down the street essentially, comparatively what it could have been.
Yeah.
So that's good. But yeah, we are a 3-point underdog at New York. Who do you guys have in game 1?
I think that's a road game we're going to win. Is game 1. So I think we'll obviously beat the spread because we're going to win it. So I would say we win the game and obviously cover by doing so.
Yeah, I think we win. I think +3 is a pretty good bet. Even if they do win, I think it'll just be like a last second, type game, or we're shooting to try to tie it. So I think +3 is a really good bet for if you want to have some little insurance on the Sixers. But I do think we'll win. I think we're 9 straight at this point. So we got 9 straight going into this. I feel like we're in a rhythm right now against Miami. We're feeling good. And I think they're going to notice that I know different personnel, but I think we're going to see that there are enough similarities to make it feel like it's kind of like an extension of the last game, just kind of roll right in and hit the ground running.
Yeah. I also saw that some sports books actually have us as a 3.5-point underdog. So anywhere from 3 to 3.5 is what I'm seeing.
Better.
So, yeah. Yeah. I kind of what you were saying, Teja, I think the confidence aspect, I think for the fact that we did, come back from a game we would have lost in years past, that Miami game, I feel like kind of gave us a little spark and some confidence going into the series too.
It's still a new team together, right? And so aside from Joel's getting, more up to speed and better conditioning, it's a new team still learning to play together. So they're going to get better in that regard as it goes along. And we already have 9 straight in that time. So it's like, man, if, yeah. It's like a snowball going downhill, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that does it for us. We'll see you guys next week on Tuesday as we hopefully by the time we see each other next time will be because the game's Monday, right? The next game's Monday. So 2-0 potentially by the time we see each other again. So
I hope so.
You want to do a game 2 prediction then based on what we said for game 1?
Yeah, we can do that.
We can wait.
Yeah, we can wait. I do think this is the only game they're going to win is game 2, though. I think we're going to win 4.
Let's get through 1 and see how 2, and we'll talk about 2 next time.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk about 1 and 2.
Yes, sir.
All righty.
All right, fellas. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a good weekend, fellas.
Later, guys.